Breaking news! In an attempt to fix things on the team, the Cleveland Browns have made some moves that have caught the eye and generated a lot of discussion on the web. I'll give you all the details, but first, be sure to hit the like button to stay up to date with this and other Browns news. Now, let's get right to it because there's a lot to unpack. The Browns made some significant moves this week as they officially placed cornerback Greg Newsome II on injured reserve, effectively ending his season. This comes after the team's tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 14, which left Cleveland with a 3-10 record. With no playoff hopes left, the decision to cut Newsome may be about ensuring his long-term health. Newsome's hamstring injury, which he suffered in the Steelers game, has been a nagging issue throughout the season. Earlier this year, he underwent surgery on the same tendon during training camp. Despite the setback, Newsome managed to play in 13 games, recording 27 tackles, 5 pass deflections, and 1 interception. However, his season ends with a career-low 111.0 passer rating allowed when targeted. Browns fans know the potential Newsome has, and hopefully this time off will allow him to fully recover and return stronger in 2025, the final year of his rookie contract. Meanwhile, the Browns also decided to release wide receiver Kadarius Toney after a tough outing against Pittsburgh. Toney's performance included a costly taunting penalty and a critical punt fumble late in the game. Those mistakes likely sealed his fate as the team looks to make room for younger players to prove themselves during the final stretch of the season. Toney, who joined Cleveland earlier this season, appeared in just 3 games for the Browns. In an attempt to bolster the roster, Cleveland signed receivers Caden Davis and Jalen Gill to the practice squad. Both players could see opportunities in these remaining games as the Browns evaluate their options moving forward. Additionally, they brought in kicker Riley Patterson, who is expected to compete with Dustin Hopkins. Fans have been vocal about Hopkins' struggles this season, as he has made just 64% of his field goal attempts, a far cry from the reliable kicker we saw last year. Patterson, who played briefly for Cleveland last year and showed consistency, could be a breath of fresh air. His addition signals that the Browns are exploring alternatives to address one of their weakest areas this season. Hopkins' struggles are puzzling given his past success in the NFL, but patience appears to be wearing thin. Looking ahead, the Browns face the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 15. Without Newsome, the defense will rely on younger players like Cameron Mitchell to step up. Mitchell, a 5th-round pick in 2023, has played mostly on special teams this season, but now he gets his chance to shine. The challenge is immense, though. The Chiefs' high-powered offense, led by Patrick Mahomes, will likely target the Browns' depleted secondary, making this an uphill battle. The reality is that Cleveland is in evaluation mode. After midseason trades for stars like Amari Cooper and Zadarius Smith, the focus has shifted to identifying which young players can contribute moving forward. With a 3-10 record, the Browns are tied for the second-worst record in the NFL. While the losses sting, this also presents an opportunity to secure a top draft pick. The question now becomes, will the Browns land the number 1 pick and use it to rebuild a roster capable of competing in the AFC? So, Browns fans, what do you think? Was shutting down Greg Newsome the right call? Should Dustin Hopkins get another chance, or is it time to fully commit to Riley Patterson? And who do you want to see the Browns target in the upcoming draft? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The Browns have officially made a major roster move, and it's sure to generate some conversation. 2-time Super Bowl champion wide receiver Kadarius Toney has been released following his performance in the Week 14 loss to the Steelers. For those who watched the game, you know that Toney's failed punt was a pivotal moment that essentially sealed the deal for Pittsburgh. Clearly, the Browns decided that moment, coupled with his disappointing contributions, was enough to part ways. Toney's time in Cleveland was short-lived, and unfortunately, it follows a pattern throughout his career. Drafted as a first-round pick by the Giants, he entered the NFL with high expectations. However, his stints in New York, Kansas City, and now Cleveland failed to showcase the dynamic player he was supposed to be. While his Super Bowl moments with the Chiefs may stand out, those flashes have been few and far between. This move signals that the Browns are shifting their focus to the future. With playoff hopes already dashed at 3-10, it's time to evaluate younger talent and decide who will be part of the long-term rebuild. Whether Tony finds another opportunity in the NFL remains to be seen, but his stock is undoubtedly at an all-time low. On another note, let's talk about Browns legend Hanford Dixon, who gave fans an intriguing behind-the-scenes story recently. During an episode of the Hanford Dixon Show, the cornerback-turned-Browns icon admitted something unexpected. He didn't want to play for Cleveland when he was drafted in 1981. And the reason? The snow. Yes, the Alabama native dreaded the cold winters of Northeast Ohio. For those unfamiliar, Dixon wasn't just any player, he was pivotal in the creation of the Dawg Pound, the legendary barking section of Browns fans that was inspired by Dixon barking at his teammates during games. Despite his initial reservations about Cleveland's weather, Dixon embraced the city, teaming up with Frank Minifield to form one of the league's best cornerback duos. Together, they helped turn the Browns into contenders in the mid-'80s. Alongside Bernie Kosar, they brought the team to 3 AFC championship games, forever cementing their legacy. Hearing stories like this reminds us that Cleveland has always been about heart and grit. It might not have the sunshine of LA or the glitz of New York, but it's a city where legends are born, even if they weren't too thrilled about the snow at first. So, Browns fans, now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think about Kadarius Toney's release? Was it the right move for the team? And how about Hanford Dixon's admission? Does it surprise you, or does it make his Cleveland story even more special? The Browns are making moves again. After a tough Week 14 loss to the Steelers that saw wide receiver Kadarius Toney have a game to forget, the team is taking steps to shake things up in the receivers' room. Toney's performance was rocky. He drew a costly taunting penalty and fumbled a crucial punt in the fourth quarter. Coach Kevin Stefanski didn't mince words afterward, calling the penalty really disappointing and saying it would be addressed. And now, it appears the Browns are sending a loud and clear message. On Tuesday, Cleveland signed wide receiver Caden Davis to the practice squad. Davis, a 26-year-old who recently spent time on the practice squads of the Detroit Lions and Denver Broncos, is coming in as someone who could potentially challenge Toney for the starting job. While Davis has yet to play in a regular season NFL game, he showed promise in the preseason with the Lions, catching 5 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown. He also excelled in the USFL with the Michigan Panthers, where he demonstrated his versatility as a receiver and returner. His 311 kick return yards, averaging nearly 26 yards per return, could be just what the Browns need to bring more explosiveness to special teams. This signing raises questions about Toney's future in Cleveland. After Sunday's performance and Stefanski's comments, the former Chiefs wideout has to step up, and fast. With Davis now waiting in the wings, it's clear the Browns won't tolerate any more costly mistakes. If Toney has another poor showing, Davis could get the call to join the active roster sooner rather than later. What do you think, Browns fans? Was signing Caden Davis the right decision? Should the Browns move on from Toney if he continues to struggle? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Browns updates, rumors, and analysis. Go Browns!